Welcome to Oracle for Startups. I'm Whitney Dermick, and today I am joined by Evelyn Gebhardt, who is the Vice President of Marketing for Altair in EMEA. So tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do for Altair.
So, as you mentioned, my name is Evelyn Gebhardt, and I'm Altair's Vice President of Marketing for the EMEA region. And in addition to that, I'm also heading up the relaunch of our startup program. The startup program was already existing, but we decided that we wanted to really take a new step and add a couple of packages and features. If you're asking yourself why I am heading up that relaunch of our startup program, that is probably because I've been a founder myself. Before I joined Altair, I did found a marketing agency, and I know really what the challenges and the pains are of a person creating their own company, making it grow, and making sure that all the employees and everybody really has what they need and everybody is successful. So in addition to that, you don't really also want to think about the technology that you need. And Altair Startup Program is really about that. We are trying to enable startups to make a successful future with developing their products and growing their businesses. And also for Altair, it really helps that Altair really has the DNA of a startup. We're innovative and we're agile, and it's really great with such a background. And for those two reasons, I really was passionate about the startup program from the beginning when I started working with Altair, and I've been passionate about it ever since.
I love to hear that. I find that working with Oracle for Startups, it does feel very much like a startup within an enterprise, so that we get to have that agility, but also the enterprise resources. And that's a little bit why we are working directly with startups. So can you tell me a little bit more about the Altair Startup Program and some of the benefits?
Yeah, absolutely. Before I do that, though, let me share a little bit more about who Altair is. So, Altair is a technology company, and we're providing solutions in data analytics, artificial intelligence, high performance computing, and simulation. And you can basically look at it like this: wherever you go, whatever you see, Altair's products and technologies is behind some of the greatest innovations globally. And now we're also expanding that to startups globally. As I mentioned before, we did have a startup program for quite a while, but we recently decided to relaunch it to also include our artificial intelligence and data analytics and HPC solutions to what we were already covering for the simulation market. And really now it contains four packages: one for product development, which is including our simulation solutions, one for data analytics and artificial intelligence, which is for startups really that want to use data analytics within their business processes to drive those, and one for HPC and cloud, which is dedicated to the semiconductor market. And then the fourth one is the one why we are also talking today, the Oracle and Altair partner package, which is called Altair Unlimited Virtual Appliance on Oracle Cloud. And all of those packages guarantee discounted access to our solutions and support and training. So it's really a good start and a good way for startups to work with technologies that also big corporations use when they are developing their products.
I'm so glad you mentioned the cost savings and discount piece. That piece is so huge, especially for startups. I wanted to read an excerpt from a recent article that we published about this partnership. It talks about how customers get optimized performance and scale for the most demanding HPC workloads at lower cost. In addition, Oracle's flat two-tier network topology provides uniform bandwidth and latency across nodes, allowing HPC clusters to scale at flat prices. So that means that startups who have to keep a really close eye on their cloud spend can worry less about expenses and more about innovation and product development. Would you agree that that's a really important thing for startups?
Absolutely, that is really important. And in addition to that, obviously, Since the infrastructure and all of the administrative tasks are handled by the experts from Altair and Oracle, that is an additional benefit. They can really focus on their innovation.
So what kind of startups, I know you mentioned the semiconductors and the big data, but what kind of startups are the best fit for this partnership between Altair and Oracle Cloud?
Actually, I think you can really say that any type of startup is really a good fit. For the startups that want to develop new products, they are finding solutions with our simulation and product development package. Startups that would like to leverage data and data analytics in their business processes can turn towards our data analytics solutions via the data analytics package. And obviously, those who really want to leverage unlimited access to our simulation solutions, fully managed on the Oracle Cloud, can turn to the Oracle and Altair partner package.
And almost every startup today needs to be a data startup in one way or another. So I think your point stands well. So do you have any favorite startup stories or success stories from this program so far?
So we've had a couple of stories with mainly startups in the simulation area. So they're developing new products with our technology. And the great thing about this is that they're really innovators. They're coming from all types of industries. I mean, whatever you can think about, they're really doing it. So they're developing new e-motors or cooling systems for e-motors. They're inventing new industrial machinery for bricketing or sewing or other applications, or they are developing orthesis for children, for example, leveraging simulation and 3D printing. And yeah, any other type as well. New renewable energy. We have a lot of startups working in the renewable energy sector. They're developing, for example, wind turbines without the turbines. And an example for that is the startup we're working with, Vortex Bladeless, and also new transportation systems. I don't know if you've heard about a startup called Autobahn, but they're inventing a new transportation system actually, and they have leveraged our multi-body simulation software to really make the ride smoother within their area. And there are many, many more and other stories on our website that you can really, I invite you to look at. There are at altair.com/startups and also within our resource library.
Great. We will definitely link to that in the show description so people can learn more. And there is so much room for startup innovation in the industries that you mentioned, including renewable energy and transportation. And I think that's why there's such massive interest in corporates deciding to work with startups. But from Altair's perspective, what's the motivation for a large enterprise corporation to support and work with startups specifically?
So I personally think that they're really crucial to a healthy economy. It helps the innovation economy if we are supporting startups and enabling them to be successful and grow. They really, I mean, they encourage job creation. They help with talent development. They drive changes in society and the environment, and they contribute to corporate social responsibility agenda. So this is really something that we can support by supporting startups as well. And then also, if you are looking at large corporations giving projects to startups, that is also a benefit, and it's really great to have a collaboration like this. Startups are so much leaner than large corporations, so it's really easier and more manageable, and to make controlled investments if you are working with a startup and you're outsourcing to a startup.
Yeah, the technology stacks that are possible when the two work together are really phenomenal. We've seen a lot of that with the startups that we are working with and connecting with our enterprise customers. It ends up being a win for the startup, a win for the customer, and a win for Oracle. So I'm really excited that Altair is part of this as well. What do you think is the future for Altair and Oracle? What does 22 look like?
So we're definitely planning to enhance our product, to offer even more flexibility to startups, to develop joint customer stories and startup stories to give them visibility. We're also thinking about enhancing our offering with a part of consulting, for example, by leveraging our product development teams. And they could eventually assess product ideas and give tips in a development direction they might not be thinking of yet. And in addition to that, we also really invite startups to join our community. If they're in the Altair community, they will be able to network and work with a lot of big corporations and users from all of our industry customers, with other startups, with academia, and yeah, every type of user that is active in our community. And I think this network possibility really is a great opportunity to grow, get to know other people, to make new connections, and to grow your business as well. And we're also planning, hopefully jointly with Oracle, to attend some of the startup events to really present our solutions and to encourage many, many startups to sign up for our program.
Great. I love that. I think I say it every episode that technology and innovation are great, but ultimately it comes down to the people. And this show is absolutely proof of that. So, is there anything else that you would like our audience to know about Altair, HPC, the startup program?
I think I just really would like to invite everybody to visit our website to at altair.com/startups to really apply, look at it. I'm sure there is an offer for every type of startup and they can leverage it and they can grow with our technology, with our support, with our joint support between Altair and Oracle. And yeah, just come visit us. We really hope that we're hearing from many of you.
Great. It's very exciting stuff. Thank you so much for being here, Evelyn.
Thank you, Whitney.
All right, if you want to learn more about the Oracle Startup Program, you can go to oracle.com/startup, and I will share all the links that we discussed in the descriptions. See you next time.